Well, howdy, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Checking in on the forecast just before 5 o'clock. I'm going to get you a quick update. We'll talk rain and if we expect to see it, heat, which we do expect to see, records for morning lows and afternoon highs. And then we'll look ahead to when we expect to see some relief, which, spoiler alert, that's coming this weekend. So we'll go pretty quickly through this, keep it short and sweet because not too much to talk about in the short term at least. So live radar right now, again, just after 4:30, some light showers trying to stream across the Gulf. Some of them have made their way into the state of Texas, but not many of those, and not into the Brazos Valley for the most part. In fact, we're practically clear of clouds right now, which has allowed us to heat things up pretty quickly. And we'll stay rain free through most of your Tuesday, but we'll look ahead to your Wednesday morning for cloud cover to return, along with a few sprinkles, but impacts really there won't be many impacts aside from some light sprinkles on your windshield as you commute to work in the morning. Beyond that, there'll be really short-lived light accumulation, and that's if you do even see rain. It's just we've got a really moisture-rich environment, so we'll likely see more of the same. Clouds filter out through the afternoon, heat things back into the 80s, rinse, repeat as we head toward your Thursday. Clouds move back in the morning, light showers come along with that. So that's the picture on radar. Not much to cover, at least through the next several days. But we do have a lot of moisture on hand, which is really easy to see when we look across the nation. Just kind of a very simplified contrast of air masses here. You work back to the west and off to the north. All the deeper browns you see there, that's dry air. Work to the south and east, all the greens you see, that's humid air. And we also notice that when we look at our dew points across the state right now, which you'll notice we also have a little gradient across the Lone Star State. We are sitting in the mid 60s right now out of College Station. That's pretty humid, especially for this time of year. And then you look back to the north toward the Panhandle. Amarillo has a dew point right now below 30 degrees. Abilene at 44, DFW even at 48. That's all because a cold front made its way across the northern parts of the state. That's not going to make it much further than this. It's not going to make it to the Brazos Valley. So we are just expecting more heat and more humidity to move in and day out through the next several days. But for DFW right now, it's in the 50s, Abilene in the 60s. But take note of Oklahoma City, mid 30s. Likely going to see some sub-freezing temperatures, potentially even as far south as the Red River. Nothing like that for us. So this is what we see today. This is what we'll see tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And then changes. So right now, 84 degrees out of Easterwood Airport. And if this afternoon high verifies, which I do anticipate that it will, this will be another broken record. This record is 68 years old, and it was 82 degrees. So this one breaking it by 2 degrees feels even warmer than that. Here's the catch-22 with the winds right now. They're out of the south, which is what we were just talking about. So onshore flow means out of the south and to the north from the Gulf into the Brazos Valley. Because they're a little bit breezy, they're ushering in a lot of moisture. But because they're breezy, they're keeping things moving. So at least it's not a sticky feeling out there. It's just a little bit humid. We'll take a little bit of a breeze when we can get it. And again, it's more of the same through the next several afternoons. We're going to continue to chase some records. Tomorrow's forecast high is 83, which puts us just shy of a very old record. Back in 1890, we got up to 84 degrees. We'll see how the Texas sun works for us tomorrow. Same story on Thursday, but we flip that. 84 is our forecast high, 83 is the record, and then I do think we get a break, not necessarily from the warmth, but from the records on Friday. The record is 90 degrees. I am pretty confident we will stay below 90 as we wrap up the work week, but still obviously well above average. Every afternoon we're tracking anywhere from 15 to 22 degrees above average for this time of year. We're usually closer to the low and mid 60s through February afternoons, and in the mornings we're usually closer to the 40s. Not the case. We are in the mid to upper 60s to start each day, which if you stepped outside over the past couple of mornings, it's been a little bit misty, some fog rolling in. You can see and feel the moisture that we have on hand, and it's not been very cool out there. So tomorrow, same story. 67 is our forecast low. If that verifies, that will be a tie record. more of the same every morning, every afternoon, until we notice the big change on Sunday morning. Right now, that's when we expect to get some relief moving in. Saturday into Sunday right now looks like a cold front is going to swing all the way through the Brazos Valley, which will help cool our temperatures down. Still above average to start the day on Sunday, close to 60, but much cooler than what we've been dealing with and what we will deal with for the next several mornings. So a really generalized look at the cold front as it moves through. We wake up on Monday morning, widespread area lows, or even across the state, much more seasonable. 30s in the Panhandle, 40s in the Big Country, 50s closer to southeast Texas. So gradually cooling things back down to closer to where they should be. So although we're getting a little bit of a sneak peek into the spring season, we're not quite there yet. In fact, we're still almost 50 days from the official start of spring, so we've got a lot more winter to go, and I do anticipate we will see some more winter-like temperatures move back in as early as the beginning of next week. So if the warmth and the above average temperatures are not your thing, no worries. Just look to the end of the extended forecast. And also, that's when we're eyeing our better chance at getting rain. We'll hold a 10% chance the next couple of days again, in lieu of the fact that we could see some streamer showers moving in from the south in our moisture-rich environment, but little sprinkles, really, trace accumulations at best. Then we'll take a break through the weekend. Cold front's going to swing through, and hopefully it will spark up some rain as we move into the next work week. Right now, it looks like some scattered showers are possible through Monday through at least midweek next week, but something we'll continue to iron out as obviously we're still a week away from most of that happening. So that's really the picture I've got for y'all today. Temperatures mid to upper 60s in the mornings, mid to low 80s in the afternoons, even potentially upper 80s as we wrap up the work week. Going to be really warm before the cold front. So we get some compressional heating from high pressure system before the cold front brings us some relief into the weekend and early next week. Okay, that was pretty short and sweet and to the point. I don't see any questions. So I will leave y'all with a 10-day, and I will say we are just under 20 minutes away from live at 5. So you can head over to Channel 3 and catch Chief Meteorologist Max Crawford's full forecast there, or anytime at kbtx.com, or take the forecast with you with your KBTX weather app. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. Stay cool. Enjoy the warmer weather if that's your thing. If not, look to the back end of the extended forecast. We've got some relief on the way.